Well, welcome back to Swordbox and my space station here. Alcohol's nothing new. Alcohol's been around for a long time. We just kind of changed the way the bottle looks and the way things appear, and the bars are a lot more sophisticated and everything. But chronic abuse of alcohol can lead to addiction and alcoholism, a very serious addiction, both physically and mentally. Because of alcohol addiction, we have things like families being destroyed, kids being neglected and abused. Auto accidents with devastating results occur every day in this country. Careers and futures are lost, health and finances are ruined, and people are dying addicted and lost in sin. For alcoholics, the withdrawal symptoms are not pretty. Tremors, agitation, anxiety and panic attacks, paranoia, delusions, hallucinations, nausea and vomiting, elevated blood pressure and heart rate, convulsions, and even seizures. Not exactly what the commercials on TV are advertising. They never have, and they never will. Many hard drinkers become violent and angry, abusive to their own families and friends. When the alcohol begins to take over and affect some people, it has a horrible effect on them. And even though they know that they're causing pain and heartache and all kinds of problems, the addiction is so severe that it drives them to drink again and again. Alcohol becomes their master, controlling their mind and controlling their body. An alcoholic builds up a tolerance, requiring more and more to quench the addiction, often drinking very strong liquor at a very fast pace to achieve this level and stop the craving. Many people in this country simply legally drink themselves to death. Usually, unless there is some type of intervention by family, friends, or through the legal system, the addiction will simply continue. Even with programs such as AA, the success rate is very low, somewhere around 20%. Most eventually go back to drinking. All it takes is a trip to the local convenience store or gas station, a few dollars in their pocket, and it's right back to the bottle. It's a very frustrating and a heartbreaking process to watch, especially when it's someone you love. What started out as maybe just a beer for a teenager at a party, to drinking on weekends, to drinking each day after work, is now all-consuming. They're no longer consuming alcohol. Alcohol has consumed them. It's no longer just a little desire for pleasure or fun. Now it's a severe addiction that the body and brain now rely on to survive from day to day. And in reality, it's killing the body and the mind. The withdrawals I mentioned earlier are real, and they're very powerful as well as dangerous. Simply stopping for many without help just won't happen. This is why prevention is so very important. Understanding the risks and the dangers of alcohol and the possibility of addiction. I've personally experienced myself how God can deliver someone from substance abuse. I've seen others that I know who have come to Christ and been immediately delivered from their addiction. But I realize sometimes it is a process. Even when you come to Christ, your addiction may be so severe, you may have so many physical problems that it's going to be a process for you. But the important thing to remember is you can come to Christ and He can set you free. What's terrible though, over time, for whatever reason, so many go back to the alcohol, and it's almost always worse. Unpleasant as it sounds, Proverbs 26:10 is a vivid picture. It says, as a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. It seems crazy that having been delivered from bondage, we would willingly go back. Perhaps many addicts have caused severe changes and damage to the brain, making this a very difficult thing to avoid. Relapse is simply, unfortunately, what happens to the majority of addicts, but it does not have to be this way. Once we're clean, we must go to whatever extremes necessary to prevent relapsing. Changing environment, changing friends, changing job, making sure we have support and are dealing with life according to God's Word, God's way, with God's help. And never forget that you need to continue in treatment. For those still stuck in alcohol addiction, perhaps everyone you know has written you off. You've quit 100 times only to go back 101. But God has not given up on you. He hasn't run out of forgiveness. He hasn't run out of power to set you free. God is patient, and He desires that we all be free from the pain of bondage and the punishment of sin, and free from the addiction of alcohol. I read the following passage on swordbox before when speaking about alcohol, and anyone who's ever been addicted to it will know just how true this is, and I want to read it again for you today. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contention? Who has complaint? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eye? Those who linger long at the wine, those who go in search of mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it swirls around smoothly. At the last it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will utter perverse things. Yes, you will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, or like one who lies at the top of the mast, saying, They have struck me, but I was not hurt. They have beaten me, but I did not feel it. When shall I wake that I may seek another drink? And regardless of how bad it is for you, once you become addicted, it's that vicious cycle that only ends in misery. Proverbs 21 says this, Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. But you know what? I'm believing better things for you. I'm believing the wisdom of God for you. And you know what? Jesus Christ loves you. He came to set the captives free. So if you're hooked on alcohol, don't give up on God. He hasn't given up on you. If you're thinking about alcohol, you need to give up on that right now and turn your heart and turn your mind towards Christ. He will lead you away from those harmful, life-destroying addictions. God bless you. We love you here at Swordbox. We will see you back here tomorrow.